Good morning. Hey, everybody. Let me move you like that. Good morning. Hi, Freddie. Hi, Rose. Good morning, Jackie. Hi, Susan. Hey, Brooke. Good morning, Connie. Hi, Janelle. Hello, hello, friends. How you doing? I missed you guys. Hi, Holly. I know. My nephew is the cutest baby. The cutest. Ooh, that really lit itself up, didn't it? Here you go. TikTok, there's some smudgies for you and some smudgies for you, Instagram. Hi, Nicole. Hey, Megan. And for you, YouTube. And for me, let me get my hair. Ah. Thank you guys. Yeah, it was man, I haven't hung out with a baby in like almost a decade. So that was wild. But he is the sweetest, cutest little munchkin. And he was so excellent and wonderful and smelled so good. And I had a wonderful time um, giving him lots of love and snuggles. So I miss him already. But at the same time, I don't want a baby. So I do know that. I like my kids being 8 and 10. I like it. That time of my life is done. Totally done. Hey, Gabby. Good morning. Hi, Nara. Hi, Jen. Hi, Lori. Good morning, Claudia. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, make sure you check your email from me, okay, hun? Yeah, exactly. I kind of love being an auntie. I'm totally going to be going back there in February to like do like a 3-day babysitting so they can go somewhere. And I'm like, this is what I like to do. And then I'll come home. So it'll be great. Whew. All right. So, um, hey, Sarah. I'm gonna give people another minute. We get to 8:33. But woo, how you doing with with life and stuff? It's been a minute since we talked. We last talked on Wednesday, and I feel it's been a rather energetically eventful 4 to 5 days, however long it's been. Um, no chill Scorpio season. So I'm curious how you guys are doing. What's the general vibe for you? Freddie says it's been an intense 4 days. Mm-hmm. 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 I will say on Saturday morning, I sent you guys out a push notification about like something. It was like um basically like a left turns or something some energy like coming through like that was shifting and like anything could happen. And I swear to God, Saturday was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like this can't be real life right now. And that's just kind of how it's been. It's no chill. Hi, Mari, and welcome. Glad you're here. Um, so this morning we're gonna do some sensory card pulls and also a collective pull, either from Fairy Forest or Rumi. They haven't decided yet, so they're both here. Just hang in. But can we first, as we enter Chaos Week, this is Chaos Week, as we enter this week ramping up to the eclipse, can we talk about Taylor Swift? Because I have been watching all of this stuff with Taylor Swift on like TikTok and everything, and I'm just whoo, wow. First of all, did you guys hear about the re-release of Red? I don't know how you wouldn't have. You'd have to be like living under a rock, I think. But what do you think about that? Like, what are your thoughts? Are you a Taylor Swift fan? I have I think people go through phases. She's been around for a minute, but I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I like me some Taylor music. But she's kind of taken this to a whole new level that I think we need to be paying attention to. Because here's the thing. Since the beginning of writing music, right? Oh, are we okay, hold on. We have a lot of I have a lot of friends who live under rocks, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm here. I'm here to tell you about what's happening outside of the rock. Okay. So, about 10 years ago, Taylor released an album called Red. I'm sure you've heard some of the songs, but it's, out on Spotify, it's Red, right? She this is there's like this is like one thread of many threads of like boss moves happening with this woman right now. But Taylor wanted to buy the rights to her song from the album Red. And the label would not allow her to purchase them. And instead, what's happening out here? And, and Taylor was like, okay, well, the entire album, okay? She re-recorded the entire album and then added to it with some songs from the vault, and then re-recorded one song in particular, which we'll get to, um, and dropped the full 10-minute version of it. Now, if you go on Spotify and you see like the album Red, and then you see the album Red Taylor's version, everything that has Taylor's version in parentheses next to it, she owns. Okay? So she basically is now making a shit ton of money off of the same record that they wouldn't let her purchase. And it's just like, oh my God, talk about the long move and, just to the patriarchy. So that's happening on one side. But one of the songs that's getting a whole lot of press and discussion is a song she wrote called All Too Well, which people say is about her relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal back when she was like a 20-year-old person. Okay. And as we all know, like Taylor is pretty famous for writing about her lovers. But again, who isn't? Like every person ever who writes songs is usually writes a million songs about their ex-lovers. That's kind of what songs do, right? For the most part. Anyway, the internet has gone after Jake. But what I want to talk about with this song, and if you listen to it, listen to the 10-minute version. Like seriously listen to this because it is waking up within the collective womanhood how we are really, really done with being gaslit, having our experiences trivialized, being told that our feelings are not valid because we're too young. All of these things, all of the ways that we are treated a certain way and men are treated a different way. And you would listen to that song and it's obvious. I mean, it's like the classic narcissistic relationship with like 3 months of love bombing and all of the things, and then boom, just like icing out, right? The thing is that this is the energy that is creating within us a collective uprising of not having time for your shit anymore. And that's the vibe as we move into this eclipse season. So pay attention to the discussion around stuff like this. And not just like Taylor Swift, but just what's happening in the collective that is like, whew, wow, okay. Secrets being revealed is a big one as we move into eclipse season. Things that have been hidden or hidden in plain sight, given different, something that is really ugly, but that we've been trained to say is beautiful, things like that, things that we've normalized. I have a thing that happened to me this weekend, that I've been processing through and kind of like, wow, like this Scorpio season has no chill. But I realized that in my family growing up, I was so used to poor behavior and being treated a certain way that it was very normalized for me. I was used to that. I remember when I first started dating my husband and we went to like a Christmas or something. And, one of my cousins said something to me that he just felt was so incredibly fucking rude. And I didn't even notice it because that's kind of how I was raised, like that's how I was treated. this weekend, I had something come through that was like another growth spiral of that. And I realized it took me aback so much because I have been so out of that for so long that I'm not used to being treated so disrespectfully, like at all. And I couldn't believe that people just like walk around in their lives treating other people that they claim to love and care about so disrespectfully, and nobody holds them accountable. And that's what we are doing now. We are saying, absolutely not. You will be held accountable, and you can't treat me like that. I don't have to take poor behavior. So, as we move into this week, and I know you've probably been in it for a minute now, in it for a minute. I don't want to say we've been working on it, but we've been understanding this in a new way lately. You don't need to put with other people's bullshit. You don't need to stay in a situation where you are habitually mistreated because of somebody else's lack of healing and inability to see the trauma that they're causing. You don't need to do it anymore. And in fact, stop, right? It feels like that. It's like that energy, just like, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. Not one more second. Not one more second. And when you start to feel that, like it's also it's really disorienting at the same time because again, when you are dealing with people that you care about and you love and that you want love from and acceptance from, those are the most difficult toxic relationships to extricate yourself from, right? Because you want it to be this reciprocal thing, but it never has been. And that's what we are collectively processing. That's what 10 years later, Taylor's like dropping this re release, and we're like collectively processing all these different things that have happened to us as well, where it's like, oh, my experience was minimized because someone said it doesn't matter that I feel that way or that that's not how it happened. Here's a news flash, my friends. If you go through an experience, no one gets to tell you that that experience didn't affect you the way that it did. We know from modern psychology that one event can traumatize a person and be irrelevant to another. You don't get to say what is traumatizing and what is not traumatizing. It's chaos theory, like from Jurassic Park. Remember when we talked about that with the drop of water and it just goes a different way every time because of the different variations? Things hit us differently. You're allowed to have your feelings however they are. Don't let anyone else tell you that the circumstances say that you don't have as big feelings as you do, or that you should get over it faster because it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that long of a relationship. I didn't even mean to say that to you, so why do you have a problem with it? Stop. You have your experience. You have your experience, and you get to choose how you move through that. And you get to have people around you who can support you in that journey. And if they can't, show them the door. Okay. The other thing that's happening this week that I think this whole Taylor thing really brought through as well is, what do you do with your big emotions? What do you do with the negative energy? What do you do with the hurt? You transmute it. You take that energy. This is working again with the 0 point field. This is what we've been talking about, especially in our moon magic calls. This is you taking that 0 point energy. This is Taylor taking that 0 point energy, which she's always done. This hurt me. I have all this negative energy. I'm going to take it and it is going to work for me. It is going to assist me. It is going to make me bigger, and it is going to help other people by normalizing their experience. So just remember that energy is energy. And because of the way we collectively agree on things, negative energy is real strong. So you take that, you take your hurt, you take your pain, you take your uncomfortable feelings, you take all of it, and then you turn it into whatever the fuck you want it to be. You get as big as you can. You shine as bright as possible. And everyone else who ever had something to say about that, say what you want. Say anything you want. Live your life. You're not here that long. And I know I keep saying that. I don't mean to be like all dark about it, but it is Scorpio season. But we're not here that long. Don't waste your energy on assholes. There's plenty of amazing people to give your energy with, too, that will bring it back to you and make you feel bigger and stronger. So we're no longer doing that. And this week is not going to allow you to do it. I was telling someone last night that the seats on the Eclipse ride this week are very limited. You can only take with you what you need. So there's no seat for bullshit. There's no seat for heaviness that is dragging you down, for old relationships and old patterns and old ways of doing things that don't serve you anymore. It's time to let it go. And as we move towards the end of this week, our calls on Friday night, and it actually lands perfectly for the lunar eclipse and the full moon in Taurus. And this ritual, I can't wait for it. As soon as I crossed into Pennsylvania, I was driving yesterday. As soon as I crossed into Pennsylvania, I started feeling that eclipse energy. I don't know, something about home for me, just like, I was like back in it. And I'm like, wow, this is going like nothing is ever going to be the same. And that's how I've been feeling, generally speaking, for the past few weeks. It's like after Scorpio season, nothing is going to be the same. Nothing is going to be the same. Not one blessed thing is going to be the same because you are changing so fast and you're not changing into something else. You're just being you more fully and unapologetically. And it's a I don't know. It's a place that's uncomfortable. Let's just say that. But it's really getting big. Now I will say, like Krista says, I miss home. I just want to note, Pennsylvania isn't home. I was home, and that's no longer my home. And I think it's worth noting that. Now, mind you, I am a Sagittarius moon. And as a Sagittarius moon, for me, and a Cancer rising, it's very easy for me to like, like, pull myself out of something and make a home somewhere else. That's not difficult for me, but home base. I'll tell you, like, listen, I just came from Connecticut. My childhood home, where I lived my entire life, has been sold. So it's the last time that I'm ever going to see that house. And as I'm walking through that house, I'm like, wow, there's so many memories here. There's so many memories here, and yet, like, my connection to it has changed. We moved my dad out of that house. He's probably not ever going to see it again. That's like, 36 years of my life. That's been home base. And I realized, like, being in that energy and being back there, it's like I am my home, though. And I choose the places that feed me and the people that I call family that love me. And it makes a big difference now. And understanding that this is the time now where you get to choose who is your home, who is your safe place, where is your safe place, and know that this is it. This is the center of it. Let this be the nucleus and allow other energy that resonates with it to orbit around you and to feed that, right? But it's just a big shift now. And really, literally, nothing is ever going to be the same. So, on that note, I would love it if you joined us for the full moon and lunar eclipse call. It is on Friday night. I have given you guys the option, and I'll post this in Instagram as well, to purchase a one-time ticket. If you don't want to join Inner Sanctum, which is a subscription membership, you can join and just have a one-time ticket. So if you want to do that, I'll be posting that in my stories later today. And if you want to join Inner Sanctum as a member, the one-time ticket is the price of a 1-month membership, and you get 2 channeling and ritual calls, full access to the meditation library, and lots of energy updates that I don't post here. So if you want to join us, go to innersanctum.me. You can do that. Otherwise, look for the links in my stories. Okay. It's for you, Mel. So that link will be there. This week, I've opened up a handful of readings for the Eclipse week. So if you need a little extra support, you can book a 15 or 30-minute reading with me this week. There's a link in my stories for that already, or you'll be able to find it in app. I'll post it there as well. Okay. So we got this. It's again, remember last week I was like, oh, we're on a 2. We're moving this week. We're starting on like a 4.5, if you can believe that. If we're talking a 10-point scale. And I think that even on Friday, we're not going to be at a 10 yet, but we're going to steadily get there. Okay. So yeah, lots happening. I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys. I feel like I was like on a different planet, which I guess I kind of was. But let's do some sensory card pulls. If you have never done this with me, if you are new to the coffee and magic world, sensory card pulls are for you to get a message for yourself. And I'm going to give you 3 things. You choose which you resonate most with, and then I'll pull some cards. And stay tuned, like don't leave if you don't have to, because we're going to do a collective pull at the end as well to just kind of round it out for our morning. All right, this morning we're doing textures. Ooh, hello from New Zealand. We're doing textures. So this is, when I say textures, these are things that you would feel with your fingers or feel against your skin, okay? The first one is velvet. The first one is velvet. The second one is linen. The third one, ooh, what is this? Oh, okay, is raw silk. So which one feels most resonant to you? If you need more than one, that's fine. Pop your choice in the comments. That gives me consent to tap into your energy. Okay, so it's velvet, linen, or raw silk. Velvet, linen, or raw silk. What are you feeling this morning? What am I feeling this morning? Literally, what am I feeling? I think I'm velvet and raw silk this morning. I'm not usually 2, but I think that's what I'm doing. All right, so if you're just joining us, we're about to start our sensory card pulls. We're doing textures this morning. So we've got velvet, raw silk, or linen. What are you feeling this morning? Velvet, linen, raw silk. What is it? I'll start shuffling. Velvet, linen, or raw silk for your sensory card pull enjoyment this morning. All right, are you ready? Last call. So we're about to do sensory card pulls. You're choosing from one of 3 or 2 of 3, whatever feels best for you. Velvet, linen, or raw silk. What's resonating with you this morning? Pop it in the comments, and you're gonna get your story. I'm so interested. Janelle, are you enjoying this deck? One of my intuition magic members just recently got this deck for herself, and from what I'm observing in on the message board, it has no chill for you either. All right. Oh, and if you're curious what this deck is, this is The Wisdom of Avalon by Colette Baron Reed. All right, raw silk, no, not raw silk, velvet people. Are you ready? Here it comes. All right. Okay. So if you chose velvet, here's your story today. What's this here? Okay, Nicole, I see you. Still can't type in the comments. I'm going with velvet, and she's always been a Tay Tay fan. All right. I'm sorry I missed that. I wasn't sure what those question marks were, but I see it. All right. So again, if you're just joining us, we're about to do the sensory card pulls. You're choosing from one of 3 textures. You're choosing from velvet, linen, or raw silk. Pop it in the comments, and I'm about to do the velvet. Are you ready? We've got the serpent. We've got the earth fairy. And we've got letting go. And of note, letting go is number 44. I know a few of you guys have been seeing that number a lot. And so there you go. There it is again. Enjoy your numerical messages. All right. So here's your story. Now, the first part of this story is your body. Your body is the beginning of your story. You are, what am I about to say? You are, okay, sorry. Your body is the beginning of your story. You're given a body. You're born into this earth. Your soul is in here. Not technically, but for all intents and purposes, let's say so. This is your command central. This is the vehicle through which you move through the physical world here on earth. We have been systematically, especially as women, systematically trained to attack our bodies. This is incredibly intelligent and on purpose, because when we are directing our energy at destroying, shifting, changing, altering our physical containers and feeling that they are not good enough, we are not using our potent creation energy to do anything else. It's always like this first, right? It's this first. This needs to be aesthetically perfect in some way before we get to move to the next point. Spoiler alert, it's never going to be aesthetically perfect, and then you don't get to the next point. This Earth Fairy card is here to remind you, velvet people, that your body is perfect as it is because it is your body and it is a miracle. You need to respect it and take care of it, especially now. Listen to what it needs. You don't know what it needs? How about you ask it? How about you say, hey, what do you need? And then how about you get quiet and you listen? Reconnect with your body. We are not transcending our bodies. That's not our job. You are to inhabit your body. You are to feel blessed by being within this body so that you can be on earth and interact with all the sensations, with all of the senses, to be able to touch and smell and see, to be able to walk around and interact with others also in bodies. Start to see it from a different perspective, because this is very important. All right, we're still on velvet, and apparently this is a verbose morning. So because I missed you, right? So then you have the serpent and you have letting go. And here's what's happening here. You're learning new things so you can let go of the old things. You learn new things, let go of the old things. It's it's kind of like how science is supposed to be, where something is discovered, but we don't get complacent with it. We're always trying to discover more. We're always like, okay, this makes sense. It's like a thing. Let's like publish it and woo, all the things. But as a scientist, you can't just stay complacent about it and say that this is what it is. Sometimes we do, but we're not going to stop doing that, because we are changing the way that we interact with the world. You're receiving new knowledge. Let go of the old things that don't work for you anymore. Don't let this be your block. Don't let this be your block. Okay? That's your velvet message. which I guess I chose too. I'm glad I also picked silk. I mean, I think I'm glad I also picked silk. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. All right, next up is linen. I didn't see a whole lot of people choosing linen. I'm not feeling the linen that much this morning. Let's see what it is. Let's see. Ooh, it just went out there like that. Okay. You're going to wish you picked linen. Just kidding. Whatever you picked is great. Okay. If you picked linen, here is your story. It's the High Priestess. It's the Joy card. It's the Burden card. Dun, dun, dun. Let me take a sip of this coffee. All right. Let's talk about the burden first. Let's do that. Here's the thing about the burden card. I think that you have already fully and completely identified what it is that is your burden. The question for you then is, are you ready to shift that perspective, to let it go, or to transmute some energy? That's the question for you. Your burden is kind of like, now that you've figured out what it is, right? And seriously, did you figure out what it is? Can you name it? Can you name it? And that's interesting, Nara, because mine was yesterday, my 12-year. So that's interesting that I picked linen. I didn't know that. Burden. Do you know what it is? Have you identified it? Because that's how you own it, and that is how you transmute it into something that you want. So if you chose linen, one of your tasks this week as we move into full moon and the lunar eclipse is to make sure that you've clearly named this. Clearly name it. What happens when you name something, right? What happens? You can call upon it. You have some sort of power over it, right? Remember that. So name it. Name it. Figure that out if you haven't already, because you're going to be calling upon this to use to transmute into some big, powerful energy that you actually want. Because here's the thing, you're the High Priestess. Does that shock you? It shouldn't. And this is what a High Priestess does. This is what an alchemist does, a magician does, any of these holders of the esoteric and the elements. All that is a calling in of energy and then a reassignment of that energy. Okay? We call it in and we reassign it. So remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember what you're up to. And remember, there's no such thing as being too big. If someone says you're too big, they're too small. And here's your joy card, linen people, because this is here with you. This is here with you right now. This isn't something that you're going to get, okay? This isn't something that's landing soon, coming soon to a theater near you. No, that's not what this is. This is you right now. You have it. You have access to this energy at this present time. It is already here. Will you name it? Will you name your joy? Can you simultaneously name something that's burdening you and name something that is bringing you joy? You're allowed to do that all the time. It's the same process because the universe does not cast judgment on different types of energy. Only we do that, okay? So there you go. That is your linen message for this Monday. And then we're going to finish up with raw silk, which I definitely chose. And I think I think a lot of you also chose. Raw silk just sounds kind of delicious this morning, right? Sounds kind of delicious. All right. All right, raw silk. Ooh, that wants to come out right away. Okay. All right. I almost feel like this is my fault, but it's probably not. It's probably kind of some of you guys, since so many of you picked this. Look what um Janelle, what did you pick raw silk? Did was raw silk part of yours? I can't remember. I'm just gonna wait for you to tell me before proceeding. You did pick raw silk? Okay. Ooh, wait. Why are you saying that? Why are you talking about fried potatoes? I want that. Okay, so here's the thing, Janelle. Okay, so anyway, we have the goblin. We have the goblin. If you picked raw silk, you've got the love card and you've got the partnership card. Am I irritated by this message? A little. Am I surprised? Not even a little bit. Yeah, I know. What the hell, Krista? Now we all want potatoes. We all want potatoes. I want them so much. I don't think I even have potatoes here. All right. Anyway, let's get back to this. Or maybe we should just forget it and we should all go get potatoes. What do you think? Should we just leave this alone? Just leave it alone. It's like I'm just gonna leave this right here. Coffee and magic out. Okay, no, no, no. I'm gonna get serious. All right, I got this. All right, so anyway, here's your story if you chose raw silk. The goblin. Here's what the goblin is, and we all know this voice in the back of your mind that tells you, hey, hey, here's why you don't deserve this. Here's why this isn't going to work. Here's why you should just stop right now. Here's why no. Here's why no. Here's why no. Here's why you're not good enough. This is the goblin, okay? And we can be angry at the goblin if we want to. We can say like, you're a shitty voice in the back of my head and I don't like you. We can say that. But also think about it like this. The goblin is your ego part. It's the ego part of you. And again, just like we've been systematically trained to attack our bodies, we've been trained to attack our egos as well. It's a three-pronged plan to just whoop, get in there. And what happens when you disconnect a part of yourself from you? It's over here and it's not getting the energy it needs to be healthy. And it wants your attention. And it's like a child who hasn't been able to get your attention through positive means. So it's like, well, here, she listens to me when I'm mean and when I tell her don't do things. I get attention. And even if it's not good attention, I just want attention. We're dealing with a toddler ego because the ego hasn't been pulled in and locked back into place in the column of your wholeness. So it's not getting the energy it needs to grow the fuck up. Okay. So it's time to pull your ego in and give it a space. Give it some energy, give it some love, give it some consistency, and start to understand that the things it's saying to you, it's only saying because it wants attention and doesn't know how to get your attention in a more positive way. Allow your ego to do it in a more positive way. When you hear that voice in the back of your mind that says, no, you're not good enough for this, how about you just take a moment and say, actually, I do feel that we are good enough for this. Why do you think we aren't? Ask your ego some questions. Chances are it's going to feed you some information that will show you that somebody else gave you that info. And it's not even something you really believe. It's just someone told you that when you were 5 and you've been carrying it around ever since, but it's not even yours. We are reaching in, and anything that has roots in somebody else, we're pulling out because it's not ours. Okay? So it's time to do your gardening, right? Do your ego gardening. This is not your enemy. This is something that just needs to be integrated and loved. Okay? So, with that being said, you also have the partnership and the love card. And for those of you who are in the growth spiral of relationships right now, you know who you are. There's a lot of you. Not everybody's in it. Just know that. Not everybody is in the relationship growth spiral, but like 60% collectively are. And there's a reason for it. If that is you, if you are restructuring relationships, reimagining how that looks, if you're literally in the middle of a divorce, if you have recently ended something, this is important for you to understand because this is part of what is keeping you from embracing and understanding the bigger picture here. Okay? It's all of this. And so bring it in, ask it some questions, figure out what the fuck its deal is, and then say, no, okay, so here's what we're actually doing. Give your ego a job. You know? I've been saying in readings a lot lately. I've been comparing unassigned energy to border collies. Okay. So it's like if you have this ego energy and you haven't given it a job, it's going to destroy your house. And that's not because it's a bad ego. That's because it's a border collie and border collies need jobs. That's what they were bred to do like lots of physical labor and things that they need to think about. They need complex situations to handle. Figure out what complex situations your ego can be given to tackle for you. Use all of your resources. Use all of your resources and don't let your collie energies sit in the house on the couch and then be angry when they've completely destroyed your home. That's not a problem for them, it's a problem for you of not understanding how it works, right? So understand that. Partnership and love. Look, where we're moving to, this is fundamental. So just pay attention to the way it's moving. Pay attention to the way that your brain is understanding it. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be all right. Just know that. So that is your raw silk message. There's that. We have one more thing to do. We have one collective pull, and I think it's from this deck. So it's from the Fairy Forest. So cross your fingers. As I shuffle this, allow me to remind you that our full moon in Taurus and lunar eclipse call is on Friday night. Things have shifted with me. These calls are now ritual and channeling. So if you've been wondering, like, where are the channelings? They're in the call. We're doing it all together now, and it's longer than usual, but hey, so are the coffee and magics. These calls, if you haven't been on them before, are more intimate. And I'm really able to tap into your energy in a different way as well. So if you would like to kind of go to the next level, you can buy a one-time ticket for that, or you can sign up for Inner Sanctum for $22. There's a 5-day free trial, and then you can be part of all of these things. Okay, you can go to innersanctum.me to sign up, and I will also have links in my Instagram stories that you can just get your ticket if you don't want to become a member. Okay. Again, there are limited amounts of readings available this week. You can find the link for that in my stories as well, or send me a DM. I've got 30 minutes and 50 minutes up. And I will post the link for the ticket, for like the one-time ticket, in my stories. And it'll also be in the Inner Sanctum app. In fact, I think it's already there. So if you look at the main feed, it's always wild. Everything's wild now. You know that. What are you saying? All right. And again, these calls are recorded. So even if you can't make it live, you can still get your ticket and it will be emailed to you. when the call is finished, so you can watch it at your leisure. All right. Oop, this is it right here. Are you ready? Okay. I'm always looking to see if it's Ragnarok, but we haven't gotten that card in a while. Woo! Everyone knock on your wood. All right, so this we got this recently, really recently. Wonder when. Um, it's the Elven Touch. It's the Elven Touch. It's number 8. You're welcome. Yeah, Nira, that's not inaccurate. Okay, so it's Elven Touch. This is a collective card for you guys, for like, the collective, the energy, the things. Add this to whatever your message was for today for the sensory. This is just like, here you go, right? There are some who walk among us who have healing capabilities. In the fairy forest, this is known as having the elven touch. When this card comes to you, you're being offered the assistance of this elven touch, a healing touch of energy that transfers to you some of the gift of immense good health, which aids immediately in your recovery. The transferal of magical energy from the elves offers you a spark of vitality, that luminous quality that helps us to awaken each day refreshed and ready with renewed enthusiasm, vigor, and optimism. The elven ones are now stilling themselves and gathering their energy to send to you when you are ready to receive. To allow this energy to work its healing within your cells, simply find a quiet place to be sometime today. Cast whatever doubts your human mind brings forth aside for a time and visualize a silver stream of pure energy entering your crown. Being touched by elves has always been known to be powerful. They can heal and they can harm. And for you, this transferal of energy brings forth great healing and a relief from physical pain. Seek healing treatments that involve touch. So, what I want to also tell you about this card. In the Inner Sanctum app under sounds, there is a meditation that I recorded here on my property in the fairy ring that pulls in the energy from this card. I believe it is the chakra clearing meditation. Um, I believe it is that one. You need to be either a bestie or a BFF to access it. It is under sounds, and there's a bunch of other ones too that will be unlocked for you. And something to note, meditations, I love making them. And so when you're a BFF Inner Sanctum member, you will get meditations more and more and more. So those are coming to you because I'm receiving downloads in a different way now. And the easiest and most effective way for me to transfer those downloads to you are through a brief meditation. So that's coming. When you are part of the Inner Sanctum, here's the thing. Being a BFF member in Inner Sanctum is only $22 a month. And that allows me to do this for you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you would like to support me and the work that I'm doing, that is hands down the best way. Also, by sharing my posts, by liking them, by sharing the live videos, that also helps an incredible amount to gain exposure. This is like my calling, my life's work, and I love being able to be as accessible as possible. So I appreciate all of you so much who have already become BFF members and have been BFF members for so long because you allow me to be here and to be present for you, to do what I love and to share my gifts with you. So anytime anything comes through for me, BFF members will always have access to that before everybody else and with no extra charge. So just know that. So there's a lot coming down the pike as we move through the end of this year. And I hope you'll be on this journey with me. I love you guys so much. You can find my app at innersanctum.me. I'll be back on Wednesday morning. Don't lock your knees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a great day. Goodbye, YouTube. I love you. And goodbye, TikTok.